Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com. Today's topic, Prime Minister Netanyahu to annex, whatever, the West Bank with election win. We are September 10, 2019. Scripture reference is out of Joshua 1, verses 2 and 3. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, you and all this people, into the land that I am giving to them, to the people of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you, just as I promised Moses, or to Moses. And that's God talking to nation Israel. It's their land. It's their land. Which brings us to September 10, 2019. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made his, quote, dramatic announcement. And he states if he emerges victorious in the upcoming elections on September 17, that's next week, next Tuesday, he plans to annex settlements in the West Bank. Here's some quotes from the Prime Minister Netanyahu. This is the Eastern Shield that ensures we will never return to being a country with a width of a few kilometers. This map guarantees strategic depth to Israel. It defines our eastern border. So that's pretty much what they're wanting to be. Their eastern border is the Jordan River. And so the, quote, West Bank of the Jordan River, that's what they're wanting to exercise sovereignty over. And I think there are about 30 settlements, 8,000 residents that would come under Israeli sovereignty with this. Now, Netanyahu plans to coordinate with the United States. President Donald Trump has promised to deliver his peace plan after elections on September 17th, after Israeli elections. And so we got another quote here from Prime Minister Netanyahu. Out of respect for President Trump and out of great faith in our friendship, I will wait before applying sovereignty over settlements until the presentation of the diplomatic plan of the president. As much as is possible, I want to apply sovereignty over settlements in other areas in maximum coordination with the U.S. And again, that's Prime Minister Netanyahu. Now, Trump's administration spokesman, condition of anonymity, we're being all secretive, we will release our vision for peace after the Israeli election and work to determine the best path forward to bring long-sought security, opportunity, and stability to the region. Again, that's from the Trump administration. Now, if you want to get into much more detail about this, you can click on this link here at timesofisrael.com. Campaign pitch, Netanyahu vows to annex Jordan Valley if reelected. So now the response is pretty predictable. The United Nations is not happy with today's proclamation. And they have their spokesman, Stefan Dujarric, please excuse me, either way. And here's the quote. The Secretary General's position has always been clear. Unilateral actions are not helpful in the peace process. Any Israeli decision to impose its laws, jurisdictions, and administration in the occupied West Bank is without any international legal effect. Such a prospect would be devastating to the potential of reviving negotiations, regional peace, and the very essence of a two-state solution. And again, that's a UN spokesman, Stefan Dujarric. Now, the Palestinians, they're upset too. So's Turkey, so's everybody else in the Middle East. But we're going to focus on President Mahmoud Abbas. He's making threatening comments. And I quote, we have the right to defend our rights and achieve our goals by all available means, whatever the results, as Netanyahu's decisions contradict the resolutions of international legitimacy and international law. You know, and you read that and it's like, what does that mean? We have the right to defend our rights. Okay. And again, Times of Israel's the source. UN warns Israel against Netanyahu pledge to annex West Bank. But it just goes back to this. Looks like Prime Minister Netanyahu wants to take back what God gave Israel in the first place. And this is only the beginning of what God has promised his chosen people. We're going to close with Genesis 15, verses 18 through 21. On that day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, to your descendants, I have given this land from the river of Egypt, that'd be the Nile, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenite, and the Kenizzite, and the Cadmonite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Rephaim, and the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Girgashite, and the Jebusite. And if you take a look at this map over here to the left, that's a pretty big chunk of real estate. Now, there's no way that's been realized in the past. It's future. And we're just talking about taking a little sliver of land here along the Jordan River is what's being discussed today. So, we're getting ready for the fall feasts. So I suspect the news feed's about to pick up. Got some other things I'm going to be writing about, introducing the fall feast later this weekend. And, it's just like the calendar. When the fall feasts arrive, news flow gets busy. So, and it usually focuses in and around Israel. So if you do want to follow this, please click on the blue bar here, type in your email address, and you can receive notification every time we put something up. And this will also be posted under Peace Plan, Prophecy. Got some tags: Israel, Jordan River, Joshua 1, Palestinian Authority, some of the main players. But you can scroll down here on the far right-hand column of the site, click on any of these topics. Got articles going back 10 years in some cases in some of these topics. So appreciate you guys following along. Keep your eye on the news. Things are most likely about to get interesting. Does every fall in and around the fall feast. Talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Bye.